Good morning, Meteorologist Lisa Green here with a look at what we can expect as we are making our way into our Tuesday. We're actually looking at a quiet day today. Yesterday, I know things got a little bit bumpy in the afternoon and evening hours as the storms and instability we were watching out west, some of that energy was far enough east that those storms were able to carry on. And we talked about this here yesterday, that there was that possibility we could see a couple of those storms. So it got a little bumpy yesterday for some. I think today we're looking at much quieter conditions as we're working our way into the daytime hours here for today and beyond. So let me take a look at our graphics here. You can see on our Skycam we've got conditions that are looking sunny with a few clouds passing through here in Fargo. We have had some fog overnight and into this morning, and taking a look at our let's see here, it's not pulling up full screen. There we go. Just been a little sluggish today. So this is Highway 10 in Lake Park. This was super murky earlier this morning when we had the fog. So that is going to continue to be improving. In fact, we've seen quite a bit of improvement there. And we're looking at Harvey really in that northwestern part of our viewing area being the one location where we're still dealing with some intense fog. And in that region, there is still a dense fog advisory in effect until 11. So, driving on along Highway 52, Highway 2, west of Carrington, west of Devil's Lake, you may run into some fog here in the next hour. And then just a closer view here. Rugby also checking in at a half-mile visibility. Rolla's at 3 miles. Baudette, by the way, also at 2.5. And Carrington's at 5 miles visibility. So radar satellite looking pretty quiet here. I'm not thinking that we're seeing any rain suddenly showing up there over by Jamestown. We've got clear skies there. So maybe some birds being detected, maybe a radar error, something going on there, but I'm not expecting to see rain. There are some clouds, as you see, up along the northern part of the valley, and then a few of them here in Fargo as we're watching for some of those clouds to depart over time. So looking at 71 degrees in Fargo right now, windows out of the north at 9. A little muggy out there today. We'll see temperatures rising into the mid-80s for Fargo. Mostly sunny skies, and you can see wind not very strong out of the north up to about 15 miles per hour today or so. Looking at our afternoon temperature, we've got some numbers into the 70s to 80s, 85 in Fargo and 80 in Grand Forks. Again, really pleasant. It's just, again, still going to feel a bit muggy, and more areas getting some sunshine heading into this afternoon. So let's show you that here on our hour-by-hour planner. We'll take a look at that. I'm going to point at some things, so we're going to bring myself up, the camera shot up. So we've had this fog. Watch as this lifts, especially in those areas still dealing with it out west. Over time this morning, that just continues to erode, and we see that completely go away once we get into the 5 o'clock hour. Even the clouds up in the north and east start to dissipate, and we're looking at conditions that are going to be on that quiet, sunny, clear side coming up for heading into this afternoon and into the early evening. So not bad at all there. Moving on into the 8 o'clock hour, still looking really great. And then this just carries on through the nighttime and into tomorrow morning. So today's looking good. We've had a lot of students go back to school today. Tomorrow is a huge day for a lot of districts. I've got a list that's too long to even include. I want to share these on TV, and we've had some viewers share their districts with me. And so we'll share some forecasts tomorrow morning, but again, there's so many districts going back. It's going to be tough to get everybody. But looking at some 80s for tomorrow and some sunny skies, looking pretty good for that first day outfit that you might have planned. Thursday is a day to consider, some waterproof options. Now, it's not going to storm all day, but into the afternoon and evening, that's going to be our best bet for seeing some storms, and the potential's there for severe weather. Temperature's still pretty warm, some low to upper 80s on Thursday. So that's our next day to watch, our next weather maker. So I want to talk about that here. We get to be quiet today, most of the day Wednesday. This is the severe storm risk day 2, which means Wednesday, but a reminder, these are 24-hour periods. So it starts Wednesday morning, goes all the way overnight into Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And so I'm thinking we're looking at that risk, that marginal risk for the Devil's Lake area here for the overnight hours as the storm system's moving into daybreak. So that's what we're watching for Wednesday. Moving on into Thursday, you can see a marginal risk over the entire valley. And again, watching for 1 or 2 storms that turn severe as they make their way through on Thursday. So let's take a look at our hour-by-hour planner. So we're going to start things off at 10 p.m. on Thursday. We'll be watching to the Devil's Lake Basin first out west. And this particular model, not all that excited about bringing much in around midnight or so. This is 3 p.m. We start to see a chance for more rain, and into daybreak tomorrow morning, you can see some areas like Langdon might be getting some thunder shower. Excuse me, not tomorrow morning. This is Thursday morning. Some Langdon area seeing some thunder showers, maybe over toward Devil's Lake. So again, this is now moving into Thursday. And then we may have some pockets here along the front where we see some rain and thunderstorms going on. That carries on into the midday hours for Thursday. You can see Northern Valley may be more of the focus at that point. But eventually, we do see that potential in the south, too. So once we get into 4 p.m., we're focusing on northwest Minnesota. But watch what happens here. We're going to see some development. If this is the scenario that develops and pans out, we're looking at that, continuing into the Southern Valley, into the 10 o'clock hour, and the Northern Valley storm starting to move off to the east and eventually clearing out. So for Thursday, that's kind of our one day, and the next 7 days in the forecast for rain. We're going to really be ramping up the heat and humidity leading up to that, so upper 80s tomorrow and into Thursday. And especially out ahead of the storms on Thursday, so places in the south and east are going to be last to see the cold front move through. So we're going to be the warmest during the day. And then, of course, the storms move through on Thursday, as we were talking about. So feeling and looking very much like summertime over the next 3 days. And then things start to change. You can see by the time we get into Friday, not as hot, temperatures in the 70s, with that slight chance for rain lingering Friday morning, but really starting to taper off. And then moving into Saturday and Sunday, you can see that we are looking at some cool temperatures, some 60s for highs, and overnight lows Saturday night and Sunday night into some 40s. So here's your flannel alert. Here's your pumpkin spice alert. It's going to feel like springtime here, fall, autumn coming up here into, I want to skip over winter. Let's just move past it and start over again with summer. But we are looking at a fall-like feel for this weekend coming up. Now, heading into next week, we start to recover a little, but we don't see a big heat moving in that will really send those temperatures soaring. We're talking about some 70s, some upper 70s coming up for next week. That's some pretty comfortable weather, but it doesn't really coincide with the time of year. August can be very toasty, and we're just not seeing it here in the extended plan, or at least not in the next 11 days. Aside from what's coming the next few days, it is going to be feeling warm and muggy the next few days, and then we scale things back. And this is a huge time right now. A bunch of districts going back either this week or heading into next week. We've got colleges going back to school next week as well. So maybe it's better to have some more comfortable temperatures as we're walking back and forth to class. And the other thing is that it's going to be a lot quieter over the next 7 days, but also into next week, not seeing anything super impressive as far as rain and thunderstorm chances. So keeping things quiet after we get through Thursday's round. So that'll be good for that break from severe weather. So we'll continue to monitor those storm chances for Thursday, and of course, keep you up to date on those temperatures as we move into a cooler weekend ahead. In the meantime, if you love summer, now's your next few days, your time to enjoy it with highs in the 80s, and that muggy feel will be there throughout that forecast into Thursday. Have a great Tuesday, and if you are heading back to school this week, have a great first few days of school coming up.